Hi, good day, welcome back. Another interesting thing, if you have to calculate the center of mass for this part, of course it's gonna differ because not all of us will start the specific sketch on a specific place, so that the absolute coordinate system will be in the exact same place. One might start with this point there and there. So if you need to ever calculate the center of mass, you don't want to move the absolute origin because it will take away some of the references and it will have some other implications. You don't want to delete it and move it and whatever. There are different ways of moving it without it affecting your modeling. But for me personally, it's just easier. I just want to make this sketch internal. It's bothering me, but yeah. So for me personally, I like to just add another coordinate system and then make that my work coordinate system. So when I do the center of mass measurement, I do it based on the work coordinate system, because your absolute coordinate system, which is this one, can be your work coordinate system and the absolute, right? Or you can place another coordinate system, and then that coordinate system will be your work. You can set that to be your work coordinate system and then get the center of mass from that specific one. So how do you know which is which? Because you can add new coordinate systems in NX, in other CAD packages as well. But on NX, to identify the work coordinate system, you press W, right? I'm not sure under format. There's a lot of stuff. So when you use format, work coordinate system, here you can change the work coordinate system. You can see here W, it displays the work coordinate system, which defines X, Y, and Z planes, and most geometry is created. Okay, right? And then of course you can change. You can set the work coordinate system to the absolute coordinate system by basically just moving it, right? Depending on your use cases, you can go through all of this. But and what's important, when you decide to move this dynamically and rotate and all of those things, you have to save it. But this is, for me, it's not really necessary. You can do it this way, but I don't use this method to change my work coordinate system and so on. I like having my datum coordinate system on the original place, or the absolute. I like to have it on the original place, which is basically then this coordinate system. But to change it, you will typically get a picture that depicts where the coordinate system should be in terms of the origin, the direction of the x-axis and y-axis or z-axis, any of those, right? So to do that, so I already pressed W on my keyboard, and then I can see where my work coordinate system is, right? So I want to change the work coordinate system to another coordinate system that I'm going to add now. So I'm just going to place in the reference geometry, in this case a datum thesis, and based on what is expected or where the coordinates are, you can then specify. Okay, let's just do this. There's different ways you can specify: dynamically, dragging and dropping, this type of thing. Yeah, there's different ways of doing that. I like to do the following. See, again here you can choose which axis, what reference you should use to actually use it. But in this case, it is the absolute. The absolute is the work, so it's fine. X and Y. This is how I'm going to define my work, my coordinate system. In this case, I'm going to say, for instance, that will be my origin point, right? So it's the end point. You see, there's different ways. There's 3 points, so anyone will do. And then my x-axis will be the same as in that direction, so I can select it from here already, right? Or I can change my selection tools to say that my y-axis is in terms of my y, which is x, y, y, right? So you can change the type of selections as well in this case, or you can leave it in invert and select specific points to show Okay, let's see here. Invert can specify 2 points to select the direction, and you can of course change it depending on what was given. Okay, so in this case it's fine. Pressing W, I can see what my work coordinate system is. In this case, I want to make this my work coordinate system, because when I measure my center of mass, I'm going to measure it from the work coordinate system, or I'm going to use the coordinates as specified from the work coordinate system. So I'm just pressing W, and from this side, I'm just going to say, I want to change this set work coordinate system to data. So that's an easy way to just change it to the work coordinate system, where the measurements will be taken for the center of mass. Of course, this is basically done because, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's because not everyone starts the part at the same position. But when you want to get a center of mass, you want the center of mass to be measured from the same position. And that's why a center of mass will usually be specified when you have to do this. So of course you can update the mass properties, and then from the information window you can see that having this as the work coordinate system, this will be your center of mass. Here we can also see there's a center of mass, but this will be in terms of the absolute coordinate system, which is this one, right? So you don't give this one, you give that one, because that's the one that you set as. So that's a very important thing to realize, is that you can work with multiple coordinate systems within NX, right? And of course, the mass, center of mass stays the same. The position stays the same. The mass of the part stays the same, because there's no change in dimensions. Let me just see if I can just change. Let's see. Edit object display. And make this a nice color. Let's change the color. Let's do that purple. Let's see how it looks like. It's fine. Okay, so there you can change the color of the part as well. It's not necessary. It's just for aesthetics. And then, of course, you can hide it. Let's hide it. Hide. And then W. And then we can hide this one as well. Okay, so the coordinates in terms of X, Y, and Z with reference to specific places for the dating coordinate system will be given. If, for instance, the lecturer wants to be funny and he thinks he's a clown, whatever, or the person thinks he's a clown, you can basically you can circumvent him trying to trick you by doing the following. If he gives you the origin at a weird place that is not connected to any of these sketch entities, like any reference to the part, for you to make a quick selection, you first need to establish where is that center of mass, where is that origin of the new coordinate system that they want you to do. So to do that, easiest way for me, again, put in a data system. Typically we'll say, or I would say as a lecturer, say, you know what, I want to be funny. I want you to give me this thing at a specific distance, right? And that distance does not touch any of the geometry. So you'll need to go and do some funny stuff for me to just get the position, right? So here, there's the position, right? And then I apply. So I'm making it 16, okay? It can be anything. So from here to here, the dimension will be 16, okay? And now, there's also another dimension here in terms of X and Z, right? So you can go and create a sketch on that specific plane, apply, doesn't matter. So now you can place a point, so that point will be the origin. And of course, the lecturer will probably, or I will probably do that. Let's say it's 70, then give you something from that edge to that edge, which is maybe 18. So now at least you've established where that specific point should be, which is the origin point, right? So that will be where the origin should be of the specific reference that was given for the dating coordinate system. So now, again, easily, you know where the origin point is, so you can select the origin point. You know the x-axis is in this direction, and you know the y-axis is in that direction. All right. Then you can just set this to the work coordinate system, press W to see where the measurements are taken from, update the mass part, and then of course you will see the center of mass according to the working coordinate system. Okay, which is then this one. How do we know it's the working coordinate system? We press W on the keyboard. Very, very important. Okay, and that's how you would handle a lecturer who tries to trick you. Let's just hide this as well. Okay, thank you for joining me. Enjoy the day.